What's up, everybody? Richard back today with another episode of the Warped Report, and today we have some subjects to get to. I mean, none of it's like, massive, world-breaking news or anything like that, but we got a few stories here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got a number of stories here. We got some songs to kind of talk about. One song I'm going to talk about I actually haven't heard yet, but I will be doing a reaction video to it over on my channel here in the coming days. But anyways, let's dive into it. We're going to start off here revisiting a story that we touched on Nick 𝗧𝗛𝗪 leaving as LA dying, and obviously his long statement about it. And I was somewhat critical of the statement, but understanding, But now this time, TEN56 has made a comment on it. So he has said, this is on his Instagram, a much shorter, statement here from Lambesis, but he says, being able to have different opinions or priorities, but to still deeply care for another person's well-being is something that's often lost in our current climate. I just want to say that I truly wish Nick 𝗧𝗪𝗪 the best in his next chapter of life, and I'm thankful he wishes me as I lay dying the same. I wanted to focus on music for past few years because it takes me back to why I started as I lay dying in the first place 20 years ago. That's crazy to think about. I look forward to writing new music and seeing many of you on tour again soon. I do know that they did announce a 20 years of destruction tour or something like that, featuring Amir and Dying Fetus, I believe. So it's quite the tour. Listen, what I think is interesting about this comment here is you can have different opinions or priorities, but still deeply care for another person's well-being. Yeah, I mean, listen, it sounds like, there might be, with Nick, it sounds like there may be an element of both, personal and business. But, I think that even though that happens, like, for example, I think, even people who, I would hope anyway, that for people out there, I don't bring politics or anything into this. This is strictly music. But, nobody wants anybody to, like, be in a bad circumstance, health-wise or anything like that over something that's kind of going on. Like, I don't think Nick 𝗧𝗪𝗪 or Tim or any of the guys are like, I wish harm on this person because, they're not aligned with my beliefs. I don't find that at all. Listen, sometimes, especially with this band here, there's, we all know the story. It's one of those situations where it's very difficult to find 5 people that are kind of on board with that. For some people, the money isn't going to supersede that, and that's totally fine. For other people, they're able to kind of move past it. And also, hey, maybe the paycheck is nice, you know what I mean? But it's all different, man. And I think that it's important to recognize that everybody has their own, moral compass, moral code, own set of beliefs when it comes to this kind of stuff. So if they don't want to continue, that's okay. You can still be maybe not friends necessarily, but you're not wishing harm on each other. I think that's what's important. So obviously a much shorter statement here from Tim compared to Nick, but I think that it was there's nothing really too wrong with it. I mean, it wasn't necessarily addressing anything head on or anything like that. It was kind of a generic kind of bland statement, but what did you expect? I mean, let's be honest here. But now let's move over to the next story. Parkway Drive have canceled their North American tour. Now, this tour here has been going on. They've been trying to get this off the ground for years now at this point, but obviously due to COVID and obviously Parkway Drive being based in Australia where, again, I don't want to get too much into this stuff, but like the lockdown seemed kind of severe. Yeah, they're Viva the Underdog. So I remember seeing this tour announced like so long ago and being like, when I was still in True Shot, I'd be like, man, that'd be crazy if we opened this tour, dude, like for when they came around to our area. But so, yeah, this tour was going to feature Hatebreed, Knocked Loose, and Fit for a King. And they have a statement here. To our U.S. and Canadian friends, our North America tour is officially canceled after trying to reschedule multiple times. Tickets will be refunded at point of purchase. The good news is that we're currently working on a new tour that we're excited to tell you about very soon. It goes without saying that we wish the situation was different, but we are going to do everything in our power to get back over there. See you all soon. So yeah, it sounds like, obviously they're going to try to reorganize something. I'm sure that these other bands are also kind of doing their own thing. So it probably just didn't line up. Those things tend to happen. it is what it is. But no, I mean, this tour, you know, there would have been a cool tour to see, but obviously with the way that the world is, it's just not happening. Next up, Counterparts recording a new album. Now, personally for me, Counterparts has always been a band, like, there's a few songs here and there that I think are pretty cool, but overall, the style isn't necessarily for me. I actually prefer Brendan Murphy, the frontman of Counterparts' side project, and a lot heavier, kind of more my alley. But Counterparts here, tracking a new album to follow up 2019's Nothing Left to Love. The band, they're in New Jersey, and as the article here on Lambgoat says, presumably with Will Putney, who they've been with, you know, many times. But what's cool here is that the co-founder of Counterparts and their ex-guitarist Jesse Doreen appears to be in the studio with them, contributing to the new record. He parted ways with the band 5 years ago. I think that's really cool. I think that, you know, if you can bring members, past members in to kind of contribute a little bit, it's almost like not in the same way because he's technically still in the band, but he doesn't tour or anything like that. But Bobby from Fit for a King, you know, he doesn't tour, but he still helps out. Obviously, I don't think Jesse's quite, you know, even that level, but with them in terms of this project. But it's still cool to see him involved with the process. And, you know, it's always good to get an extra set of ears and eyes and fingers to play guitar, you know, when it comes to new stuff. So that's always, you know, really encouraging to hear and to see. So that's really cool. Next up, Animate debut a new single titled The Sun Sleeps, and they also signed with UNFD. UNFD's roster is growing. Some really great up-and-coming talented bands, you know, including, you know, we have like Hollowfront kind of more recently, and then a bunch of other bands like, you know, Silent Planet. I think Silent Planet's with UNFD. You have Era. You know, there's just a ton of bands over there. But, yeah, so they're from Texas. I actually didn't know that they were from Texas. You know, they signed. They're going to be releasing a 3-track EP on September 23rd, so that's just 10 days away. That's really cool. And there's also a quote here. They commented on the new record. This collection of tracks has been given attention to detail instrumentally at every turn and lyrically observes the dynamic between those afflicted with addiction and those impacted by addiction. The band adds, in terms of, you know, for signing to UNFD, this is a chapter of our careers that we are more proud of than anything. Here, let me scroll down so you guys can see it. More proud of than anything. While we can't put into words how much it means to us to be on this fantastic record label, we want to say thank you to UNFD for believing in our vision. From the moment we hung up our first Zoom call with them, we knew they were the missing piece of the Animate team. Now, if you guys have ever seen any of my videos, you know, in terms of like ranking bands, anything like that, I have been often, you know, I don't want to say critical of Animate. It is just not my style. However, I did check this song out on my Twitch streams, one of my Twitch streams, and I thought this was a pretty cool track. The problem is, like, they tend to go airy and kind of like, you know, too progressive for me, and it's like the first 45 seconds or so, I'm like, okay, this is cool, and then it just kind of, I don't know, I always do this with my hands when it comes to Animate, because that is just what I feel like happens. They just kind of just like wisp away, you know, and it loses me. So, you know, good for them, obviously. I think that it's awesome anytime a band can get that next level of success, you know, especially with like a record label like UNFD, who, like I said, has a lot of great bands with them already. You know, I know that they're primarily based out of Australia, so they have some cool Australian bands as well. But this should open up some more potential opportunities for Animate down the road as well. You know, maybe a tour with Era, which I'm sure they probably have done that in the past, but I could, you know, very well see that happening. Stuff like that. So very, you know, congratulations to them. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, that's enough. And yeah, so that's really cool. You know, check out The Sun Sleeps, and I'll check out the rest of the EP. Like I said, they're not really a band for me, but I can appreciate it. Next up, man, I love talking about stuff here about Out of Line on the Out of Line YouTube channel. TEN56, a band that I am absolutely enamored with, that you guys have probably seen over the course of these episodes of the Warped Report. I absolutely love this band. And, you know, their third single here, I will admit, when I first heard it, Sick Dog is the name of it, by the way. When I first heard it, I was kind of like, okay, this is interesting. And I still kind of believe, like, I would, like, you know, if somebody's like, all right, you have to listen to one TEN56 song forever. Right now, it's Boy. I really do enjoy this one, though. It's very different. And I think what it does for them is that it sets them kind of even a little bit further apart from, like, the Dealers or the Alpha Wolves or the Amures in terms of like that down-tuned heaviness with some, you know, some other modern flair. It's kind of like, a lot of people likened it to Suicide Boys with down-tuned guitars. And I could kind of see that a little bit. But also with this release, their EP, Downer Part 1. So, Part 1, how many parts are we going to get? It's a 6-track EP. I would tend to believe, and listen, I know I'm on the Out of Line channel, but I honestly don't have any inside scoop. I don't know. I'm going to guess it's a 2-part thing. 6-track EP, 6-track EP. This is coming out on November 25th. Very, very excited about that. Aaron, he made a comment here, and let me pull that back up for you guys. He said it was definitely a conscious decision to unravel the release, the 3 singles in this order, just to show people that we're not a one-trick pony. Absolutely. He also continued, it's honestly been the most enjoyable time I've personally had when writing and recording music. Downer Part 1 is a 6-track, and it's supposed to sound bloody horrible. I can just hear him now in his accent, just saying that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Obviously these guys have been a band that since the jump with 𝗪𝗪𝗪, I have been all over. Very much excited for carrying their flag. I've even bought some merch. I rarely buy merch. I know I'm wearing an Acacia Strain shirt right now, but I rarely buy merch. I'm not just saying that, but because part of it, it's like, I got so many clothes at this point, different band t-shirts over the years. It's like, do I really need to add more? But these guys here have my support, both, listening and also the merch game and stuff like that. And I hope nothing but success for them, and also Out of Line. I mean, hey, we're here on the channel. Let's come on, guys. Okay, let's enjoy Out of Line. Next up, we're going to go to another band who's not an Out of Line, but hey, nonetheless, we'll talk about it. I actually have not heard this song yet, but this is Bullet for My Valentine. They dropped a new single titled Shatter, a generally heavier effort from the band, so I'm kind of a little bit of a spoiler alert there for myself, but I have to do a reaction to this on my channel later this week. I'm definitely excited for that. They're going to be releasing a self-titled album on October 27th, and also a quote here that says, we're very excited for you all to hear our new track, Shatter, the band says. It's one of our personal favorites, and we're pretty sure it'll be one of yours. It's an absolute sledgehammer of a track with riffs for days. Let the headbanging commence. Love to hear that. I think that's a really cool quote. And also spoiler alerts for me. Lastly, I do want to cover this. I did a reaction actually earlier today to this, and it's actually not even out on my channel at the time of this recording. We Came as Romans released a new song titled Black Hole featuring 𝗪𝗪𝗪 of Beartooth. Came in at just under 3 minutes. The video was directed by Jensen Nguyen. Seven Dust, like Moss to Flames. Listen, man, I thought the song was okay. Like, the chorus is what sells it. The rest of it's kind of meh. I'm going to be totally... Listen, I'm giving you my unfiltered reviews here. The chorus is cool. The rest of the song is okay. The breakdown's kind of like whatever. It's kind of like a big arena song, and it's not bad, but it's kind of like, to me, without sounding callous, it's kind of a little bit of a throwaway song. Like, it's not anything that I'm going to ever return to, but it's a fine song. It'll be fun live, yada, yada, yada. But there you guys have it. We touched on As I Lay Dying, Tim Lambesis' comments on Nick Hippa, Parkway Drive canceling the tour, Counterparts record, Animate signing, TEN56 announcing their EP, Bullet for My Valentine's 3rd single, and also, leading up to their self-titled album, And We Came as Romans single. Let me know what you guys thought of all these topics here. What do you think? Are you excited for TEN56? Come on. I mean, this is the Out of Line channel. You better be excited for TEN56. Go pre-save the EP, pre-order a bundle, do all that good stuff. I'm Richard. See you next week, or on my channel if you guys want to head on over there. Till the next one. Peace.